Hello, hello.
Hello. How are you, Chrissy? Good to see you.
Good evening.
Or
How are
not to see
you?
you, to hear you.
I have a bit of a headache tonight, so I almost canceled, but didn't want to do that.
Like I had a migraine most of the week, and so does my wife. It's the weather. I think it goes
Yeah,
up and down.
I
High
think it
pressure,
would
low
be.
pressure.
The only weather we have is hot.
Oh, well, that's why I moved to Canada.
Right.
As an obese person, I have my shorts on and the wife beater all year long.
Oh,
So it's just fine here.
yeah, I wish.
No Claire yet?
She
Yes.
should be coming soon. I just talked to her not too long ago. She's having a bit of a Wi-Fi
I heard.
issue again.
Yeah.
So,
But I
but
don't know
she,
how you guys do it. Chrissy, this
what?
case is even worse what we talked about.
Oh, yeah. This case, yeah, it's pretty
Several
bad.
weeks.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, let me throw that up there right now.
Yes, please.
Contains content that some may find disturbing. Very. So
Yeah.
be warned. All right, let me say hi to some people.
Hi,
OGC,
everybody, and chat. All
John,
right.
Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Um,
Will Gareth make it? Who's
I
that?
don't know. He usually here by now, so maybe not.
Yeah, maybe. Well, listen,
Hi,
the night is
Cynthia.
young and already
Yeah.
over in Britain.
Mhm. I think John's over there too. So
That's true, too.
yeah. Wanted to give Claire a couple more minutes before we start. Just killing
Okay,
time here.
I won't, I won't say any names and no details on it. And I won't jump ahead, therefore. But if anyone would make this story up and write a book, they would be admitted or institutionalized. Like they would be in a psych ward immediately or put on death row and executed within 36 hours in a country that has no death penalty. This
Right.
is insane. This is insane.
It is. Yeah. It's all I can say is yes, it is.
Yeah, but they gave all, they raised all the flags. Like it's not that someone says, "Oh, I didn't see this coming."
Oh, okay, John.
And we will talk about that
Hmm.
when the time is right. I won't jump ahead. Never do that.
Yeah. Never do that.
Never.
Mm-mm. Would never do that. So, she's not answering me, so she might be like out for now.
Mhm. She says she can listen when she's not on. Like maybe
Yeah,
she
yeah,
just tries to. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see if she gets here, and we'll just try to go ahead and
Yeah. You have the
start.
floor,
And
ma'am.
um, yeah. So let me get back to my section over here. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about Fred and Rosemary West. Lovely people. Aren't they, Ing? They are lovely. It's a lovely couple. Did I lose you guys? Did I lose you already, or you just
No, no,
muted?
no, no. Like, well, lovely couple. I had a problem. Now I get it. It was sarcastic.
Yes, very sarcastic. Yeah.
Yes.
This is them,
Well, it's
Fred
not
and
that they
Rosemary.
met there. Like either, no, not her, but he was married before.
Yeah, he was. Yep, he sure was. We're going to get into that too. But as everyone knows, I start my things with going into their backgrounds and their childhoods and things like that.
Which will explain a lot too in this case.
I just talked to her, Frank. I know. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time with ignoring the chat because Claire's in charge of the chat, so I can't keep flipping back and forth with that.
I'm
So
just special guest. What do I know? No, I'm too old to do the chat. Go. Sorry, Chrissy. Go ahead.
Well, you can. No, you can't even see the chat. Yeah. All right. So let's get started. Let me get back to my other thing here. All right. So, excuse me. All right. Fred West was born in a place called Much Marcle in Herefordshire in 1941. Now, this is all in England, I'm assuming. His father's name was Walter Stephen West. His mother was Daisy Hannah Hill. He was the second of 6 children. There was sexual abuse of various kinds in the home. The father would have sex with his sisters and even taught him about bestiality. And I'm not going to explain what that is, and everyone here knows what that means. Okay, the mother began sexually abusing him when he was 12. Claims he engaged in incest with his sisters and even impregnated one of them. That's what Fred says, but it was never known to be fact, but Fred did say it. Um, Despite the sexual abuse, he and his mother were very close. When he was physically punished in school, she would go there and yell at the teachers. By the age of 15, he quit school. He was still basically illiterate, couldn't read or write. He got a job as a farmhand. At 16, he started to really, puberty set in. His look started improving, which I don't see in those pictures, but okay. He he became a little more attractive and was, getting some girlfriends. At the age of 17, he was in a motorcycle accident that put him in a coma for a week, led him to having a metal plate in his head and breaking one of his legs so bad that it was permanently shorter than the other. So he walked with a limp, I guess. Afterward, he got a bad temper and often had violent outbursts. 2 years after the accident, he hurt his head again when he stuck his hand up a girl's skirt and she pushed him down the fire escape. I
Good
guess
for her.
yeah, I
Good.
guess he hit his head and
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, if he, um, at 19, he was convicted of molesting a 13-year-old girl. He didn't serve any jail time because his doctor said he suffered from epileptic fits. He was sent to live with his sister and was practically disowned by the rest of the family after that. He got a job with a construction company but was fired for stealing. At 20, his family allowed him back into their lives and he moved back to Much Marcle, where he was born. When he got back, he resumed a relationship with his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Renee Costello. Remember that name? Who
Yes.
had been a petty thief when they first dated and moved on to prostitution. They call her Raina. They don't call her Catherine or whatever. They call her Raina.
Yeah.
She was already pregnant with a child when they got married. They kept the child, but to explain why the baby was half Asian, because it was from a guy who was Pakistani, and that's not Asian, is it? I don't think so. No,
Well, it's nothing wrong being Asian, but
no, but they
let's
say
settle
that
to the fact that it wasn't from Fred.
no, but they're
Yeah.
saying that she was pregnant with a Pakistani man, but then
Yeah.
they want to explain why the baby was half Asian. Pakistan's not Asian, correct?
Well, they belong to the East Indians, from which I wouldn't call Asian either. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, back to it. To explain why the baby was half Asian, Fred had Raina write to her parents and say that the baby died in childbirth, and that the girl that she has, which is the original baby, named Charmaine, was adopted. Remember Charmaine too.
Yes.
Excuse me. They married in November, only 2 months after getting back together, and they moved to Scotland. Fred demanded sex from Raina daily and wasn't too interested in regular sex. The couple had a child of their own in July of
Wait a minute. So
1964.
daily is not regular? Because
Mm,
he demanded daily sex, but not regular. Oh, now I get it.
you get it now?
Oh,
I was
it's,
like, please
it's
don't
even.
make me explain
I'm
this to you,
sorry
lady.
I asked. I'm sorry. Jesus.
All right. The couple had a child of their own in July of 1964, a daughter named Anne Marie. They had a really rocky marriage. Fred worked as an ice cream truck driver, a job that gave him plenty of access to available young women. It all came to an end when Fred accidentally ran over a 4-year-old boy with his truck. Though the accident wasn't his fault, Fred moved with his family as well as, I'm going to say, Isla McNeil, who took care of their children, so she was like a nanny, and Anna McFall, who was a friend of Raina.
They
So,
were all teenagers, when you
yes,
look back. Yeah.
they all moved back to Gloucestershire. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, Gloucestershire. Yeah, that's,
Gloucestershire.
depends if you're
Gloucestershire.
Gaelic or British. It
Yeah.
sounds different.
And then he got a job at a slaughterhouse there. Okay, let me look at the chat real quick. Make
That's
sure.
the right occupation. Working
Slaughterhouse.
at the
Yeah.
slaughter. Jesus.
Right. Okay. Nobody knew. Nothing. Go back to that. All right. Um, the marriage ended, and Raina went back to Scotland alone, but came back in July of 1966 because she missed her daughter. Now, she had two daughters, Charmaine and Anne Marie, but they say she only missed her daughter.
Yeah,
So
that's weird.
it is
I,
weird.
I, I,
Only to discover that Fred had started a relationship with Anna, who was her friend.
also
He
a
wasn't,
teenager.
yeah, Anna was the one that was her friend. Isla was the nanny. So in 1967, Anna McFall became pregnant with Fred's child and tried to get him to divorce Raina. In response, he killed, dismembered, and buried her. Victim one.
Yes, that was number one. Yes.
Okay.
Well, what we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. Well, besides the 4-year-old in the truck.
Yes.
That's different. All right, Costello, which is Raina, finally left Fred a few months later, leaving their children with him. Fred is suspected to have killed again in January 1968 when 15-year-old Mary Bathome disappeared from a bus stop. They never found her, but they suspect, and you'll know why they suspected him further down.
Yes.
After the death of his mother in February, Fred started committing a lot of petty thefts and changed jobs a lot. It was during this stint as a bakery truck driver that he met his future wife and accomplice, Rosemary Letts. In comes Rosemary. Look at the chat again real quick. Mark, hi Mark. Okay. All right. Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
No, I don't want to say hi to Mark. Always good to have Mark.
Oh, you can always actually see the chat.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? I feel bad that I take over Claire's position as good as I can. I can never replace her ever, but I feel bad.
Okay, so as long as you greet people, and if somebody has a question, you can stop me and tell me they have a question.
I will monitor.
Alrighty. Now let's talk about Rosemary. She was born in Devon, England in 1953. Recognize those dates. Fred, 1941. Rosemary, 1953. Quite older. Her father was Bill Letts. Her mother was also a Daisy, but Daisy Letts. And her father was a schizophrenic.
That was a big surprise.
Right? constantly disciplined her and her siblings and her mother. He sexually abused them. And when Daisy, which is her mother, was pregnant with Rosemary, she had received electroconvulsive therapy as a treatment for her severe depression while pregnant. You don't hear that nowadays. Um, Rosemary wasn't very bright and a bit overweight as a child. She was often teased and responded by attacking her bullies aggressively. When she was a teenager, she became more sexually active and was even caught getting into bed with one of her younger brothers and sexually fondling him. Ay, ay, ay. Her father, what a pair these two, right?
Chrissy, that's just if they say, well, when she hit puberty, she became even more sexually active. So she was already sexually active before that,
Right.
and her
Yeah.
father was part of it. But
Hmm. These two are a pair, aren't they? They're just alike. So,
yes,
all right. So her father's rules prevented her from dating any boys her own age, so she pursued older men, and one of them took advantage and raped her. So that didn't make sense to me neither. If her father forbade her from dating, how did she hook up with older men?
that was to me like the more you read what different news outlets said, it's like in a sense they cared for her, but they didn't. You know,
Hey,
like
Cherokee.
you know,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Um, All right. At the age of 15, Daisy took Rosemary and moved in with her older daughter and her husband. Rosemary started spending even more time with male companions. Later the same year, she surprisingly moved back in with her father. Not long after, she met Fred, who was 12 years her senior. Her father objected to her seeing Fred and went to the trailer park where he lived and threatened him. Nothing wrong with trailer parks. Trailer park trash. Rosemary became pregnant with his child, a girl named Heather, and took care of his children on her own, which would be, mm, help me out here, Charmaine, Heather, which is this one. What was the other one? Anne Marie, is that her name?
Anne Marie, Charmaine, and who was the
This
third?
one, this one's Heather.
I can't see a picture. Are you
No,
showing a
no,
picture?
I'm not
Oh,
showing you a picture.
oh, okay.
I just said that her first child, Rosemary, became pregnant with his child, a girl named Heather. So they had
Yes,
another girl.
yes.
All right, because of her temper problems and her resentment about caring for children who weren't hers, she often treated her stepdaughters badly. No kidding. In the summer of 1971, Rosemary snapped and killed Charmaine. After severing the body's fingers and toes, Fred buried it in under the kitchen floor. So he had a thing about toes and fingers. Cut the fingers
Hmm.
and toes off when he killed them. Um, and I later read that he did that so they couldn't identify them. But yeah, there's a lot of other ways to identify bodies. Um,
Yeah, but wasn't he in jail for stealing something when Charmaine was killed? Because she wrote him a letter talking about it. I don't
oh,
even know like how prisons work there.
yeah, right. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
read that part.
yeah. I went through a lot of news outlets, and that's what was the BuzzFeed Unsolved Network.
Hmm.
They
I
said when
mean, it's
Charmaine
possible.
was
Yeah.
killed, yeah, she he was actually in jail, but she wrote him a letter and said, "Oh, Charmaine has to be taken rough." And I gave it to her, and he wrote it back, "Oh, I love you." Like they almost put it in a romantic way. You know
Oh,
what they?
jeez. Yeah. All
Man.
right. So In August of 1971, Raina disappeared when she came looking for Charmaine. Because her body was found to have had its fingers and toes cut off when it was discovered, Fred is suspected to having been the killer. All right.
Take fingerprints.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Freddy Krueger. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Okay. Got Wendy. All right, moving on. In Oct. Wait. Fred and Rosemary married on January 29th, 1972. So I guess since Raina was dead, he didn't have to get a divorce, right?
Amen. Amen to that.
Mhm.
But did everyone know that? People were still looking for her. Like it was
Well,
never.
they said that her body was found, so that's
Well,
what they.
later,
Yeah.
later. I think that's after the fact.
I don't know.
Because didn't Rosemary say that when Charmaine was missing, because she was in school, and she said she went with her mother, who was already dead, but no one knew that,
Right.
and no one investigated.
No. Mm-mm. Okay. Fred encouraged Rosemary to have sex with other men, both for money and for fun, and often watched her through a peephole. Talk about a cuck.
Yep. Yep.
He also took erotic photos of her and posted them in swinger magazines as ads for prostitution. And they did all this out of their house.
Can you imagine if he would be alive today? He would be part of the drama community.
Probably. Maybe he is.
Man, the
His second
internet
life.
keeps people off the street. I think human life has been saved with the internet because serial killers just stay home and be assholes online.
Right,
Just
right.
sorry for the A word.
It's okay. All right, so in June of 1972, they had another daughter together, Mae West. In order to make room for their expanding family and Rosemary's business, they called that a business.
Oh,
They
well,
moved, yeah, they moved to 25 Cromwell Street, which is this house here. Rosemary continued working as a prostitute from their home in a room fitted with peepholes for Fred to use and a red light outside that would be lit to tell the children not to enter. Over the following years, she gave birth to 7 more children. 3 were fathered by Fred. Another may
I'm
have
glad they
been
found out who the fathers were.
right. Another may have been conceived by Rosemary's father, who kept engaging with incest with her even after she gave birth to her 4th child. The other 3, who were of mixed race, were all fathered by her clients. Hmm. Just showing a couple of pictures of the house here. That's after they already went in with the police and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's it today. Like the last picture you showed, they tore the house down, and it's
Yeah, I
just
ain't got that far yet.
now a
You're going ahead.
walkway.
You're going
Yeah, yeah.
ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
This is,
You jumped ahead showing picture.
and that's why I took it off real quick.
No, thank you.
um,
Wow, I'm not quick enough for that, Chrissy. Sorry, I should have.
that's just a picture of the basement.
Look at this shit.
Hmm.
Almost like a shrine.
That's her work bedroom, I assume.
Yeah.
Kitchen, little
Well,
wine
that
bar.
booze.
Another shot of the kitchen. This is a trap door that led down to the cellar.
I never saw
where
this picture yet.
where I
Damn
assume
it.
that that's how he hid the bodies under the kitchen floor. So,
They had more room to run in that boat. You know?
mhm. um, just checking the chat real quick. Fred was incredibly open and friendly with police when they arrested him. Many of them liked him, despite it. You're right, John. I'm Mark. Sorry, you're
That
right.
will come in actually at the end.
I
We'll
actually have
jump ahead.
a
But
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah,
picture
he's
that I'll show.
spot
I
on that.
think I got it where he's all smiles, and I'm not sure if I got it or
The
not. We'll see.
police thinks, at one point they even said, yeah, he killed that many, but the 4-year-old he ran over was not his fault. Like even the police
Hmm.
had like excuses for him. It's
Right.
amazing.
All right, moving on. October of 1972. This is a long case, so Fred and Rosemary hired a young woman named Caroline Owens to work for them as a nanny for their children. They kept making sexual advances on her, but she declined every time. One night in December, after they both unsuccessfully tried to seduce her, she tried to leave only to be held captive overnight. When Fred threatened to let some of his friends have her and that he would kill her, she complied. The next day, she was released.
Hmm.
Though she pressed charges, Fred was able to convince the court that the acts she was forced into had been consensual. How can they be consensual if they're forced into? That
And
didn't make any sense.
one part being minor, for crying out loud.
So he and Rosemary were instead only fined $50 for the indecent assault. Over the next 6 years, they killed at least 8 young women. Um,
No, about the minor thing, like, did you mention that Rosemary was actually 16 years old when she married Fred?
did I?
Now that's why I said the minor thing, because there was problems from the beginning.
Yeah. So this is they
Those
have
are the 12.
Mary on here who they suspect that he killed, but they don't know. Um, we're gonna go through this real
Yeah.
quick. The first was Linda Gaw. She was a seamstress the West knew personally. This isn't in order up here on the pictures. You got to find her name.
Yes.
Linda Go. Which one is she? I don't know.
Go
Maybe
like
it's
second,
oh, there
second
she is.
row,
Yeah,
third
that's
from the
Linda Go.
left.
Next was Carol Ann Cooper. That one, who disappeared while walking home from a movie theater. In December, Lucy Catherine Partington disappeared from a bus stop while she was on her way home from Christmas. Here. She was held captive for a week over New Year's, raped, tortured, and then killed. On January the 3rd, Fred was treated for a laceration which is believed to have been inflicted when he dismembered Partington. Yeah. From 1974 to 1979, 5 more women. Therese Seigenhaler, I can't say her name, Shirley Hubbard, Juanita Marion Mott, Shirley Ann Robinson, and Allison Chambers met the same fate.
Mhm.
This is the women. There's a big question mark here at the bottom. There's probably
And
more.
one of them was daughter, Charmaine. Right.
Yeah,
Not
Charmaine up
his
here
daughter.
in the
I
red.
think, yeah, it was not his biological father. I think it
Right,
was
that's
her
the
daughter. Yeah.
Pakistani.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Fred also sexually abused Anne Marie West, his daughter, from his relationship with Raina. She eventually became pregnant, but the pregnancy was in her fallopian tubes and had to be terminated. When she left home, he started abusing Heather, which is his other daughter,
Yes.
um, and one of his own daughters, May. Fred disposed of the bodies by burying them under the garage of the house or in the garden. To cover up the frequent burials, let me take that down. He pretended to be doing regular home improvements. In order to afford the supplies, he frequently stole and fenced for the loot. Even though he was often brought to the police's attention, his killings went unnoticed. This next part here is what I don't get. In 1986, Heather told her friends about the abuse she suffered. In June the next year, Fred and Rosemary strangled her to death to silence her. She was then dismembered and buried in the garden. Um, when she told her friends, they didn't do anything. Nobody said nothing. Nobody informed the cops. Nobody did anything.
You have to know it's a small city, and
Right.
those people were all there. Like, it's not that someone is missing, no one knew
Hmm.
her or anything. No, it's girls that didn't come home one night.
Right. In May of 1992, Fred videotaped himself raping one of his daughters. When she told her friends, one of them reported the West to the police. Another girl raped by Fred came forward. The police obtained a search warrant. So finally, this one's friend actually informed the police. In August, they searched the house for evidence of child abuse. Fred was arrested for rape and sodomy of a minor, and Rose was arrested as an accomplice. While they were being processed, their children were placed in the care of the government. While Fred was in custody, Rosemary became depressed and even attempted suicide, but was saved by one of her sons. So I guess she got released.
Yeah, but
He
why?
was being held.
Like, okay, if she gets released, she was just the accomplice. But
Hmm.
he raped a minor, sodomized it, and makes it out.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, the rape cases fell apart when the victim backed out. The investigator, Hazel Savage, became increasingly suspicious of the West past. The disappearance of Heather and the results of the interviews of the West children, especially that they had been threatened by Fred and that they would be buried under the patio like Heather. She was able to obtain another search warrant to have the property dug up. While still in custody, Fred confessed to Heather's murder. When human bones started cropping up, Fred confessed to having committed the murders alone in order to protect Rosemary. However, he would not admit to raping any of the victims, saying they had wanted to have sex with him. Soon enough, the bodies of Anne McFall and Charmaine West turned up as well. Seeking to protect herself, Rose cut off all contact with Fred. Hmm.
Well,
Yeah. Let me check the chat real quick. Um,
Pablo wants to come up. Listen to me,
no.
buddy. That's not a subject matter you should be involved
And how is she with you? That makes
in.
no
Amen.
sense. Yeah. December 13th, 1994. Fred was charged with a dozen counts of murders. On New Year's Day, he hung himself in his cell at Winston Green Prison with a knotted bedsheet. His body was cremated and his funeral unattended except for 5 of his children.
What?
Rose was also put on trial, first for rape, but then for murder as well. She never confessed to any of the murders, and the evidence against her was largely circumstantial. An important witness was Janet Leach, Fred's, they call it appropriate adult in England. It's a parent, guardian, or like a social worker.
Yeah, at this point, doesn't mean much to me. I have
No.
to tell you. What's she gonna do?
Yeah, well, Fred's
You know?
appropriate adult who revealed that Fred had told her that Rose had been involved in the murders and even killed Charmaine West and Shirley Robinson on her own. So he revealed that to her, and then she was a witness in
Yes.
Rose's case. November 22nd, 1995, Rose was found guilty of 10 murders and sentenced to life in prison. Though she maintains her innocence, she announced in 2001 that she will not try to appeal her conviction. In 1996, 25 Cromwell Street was completely demolished and the
Mhm.
site turned into a pathway,
Mhm.
which is that.
Which is appropriate.
Yes, they didn't even keep the house up. Hopefully they were able to collect all the bodies, though. Um,
Can you imagine?
right. Let me look at this chat again real quick. Da, 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 da. Nothing. Okay. Um, the modus operandi. I wrote this down just to talk about this.
Yes.
In criminal law, that means the method of operation or pattern of criminal behavior. All the West victims were Caucasian females in their mid teens to early 20s, besides like Charmaine, and sometimes related to them. The ones who weren't were usually lured to the house under the premise that they would be hired as nannies or some other job. When the victim was under Fred and Rosemary's control, they would rape and torture her in an elaborate and sadistic bondage acts for days, and then strangle or suffocate, bury her on the property. Fred's signature was cutting off the victim's fingers and toes and sometimes their kneecaps post mortem before burying them. What a sick.
You know how hard it is to remove a kneecap? Like I get it if you want to have sex and murder someone, why the kneecaps? It
Right.
just shows you how displaced this guy was.
Yeah, I'm just going to show some random pictures since I didn't show any during the actual,
Hmm.
or too many anyway. This is Charmaine.
It looks like a happy family.
Yeah, and Anne Anne Marie because that's Raina and Frank. That's his first wife.
Mhm. But
There's
she
all of
had
them.
already daughters, I think, when he married her. Like had only one with that first woman. Am I?
Yeah, because Charmaine wasn't his.
Yes.
Right. This is in some wedding or something.
Yeah. That must be Rosemary.
Hmm.
Pretty early.
I believe actually that is their daughter. No,
Oh, I
that's
think.
maybe I don't know.
I
Who showed that one?
I lost track too.
Yeah, that was Rosemary.
Mhm. He was
Uh,
16.
hmm.
And here's the thing. Yeah, maybe I'd say that at the end.
That's Stephen and one of the daughters. I can't think of which one. Is it Anne May West? May, because May didn't get killed.
Yes. Yes, she survived.
Yeah, and Stephen is their son, and that's her again there. And then look, he's just smiling, getting in the police van in cuffs. There she is.
That's Rosemary.
Yeah,
Well, in 95, I guess.
and that's all the pictures. I do have this. Where'd it go? Which is just their known victims, the dates,
Yes.
and things like that. So I already read that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Here's my thing. When we had that guy who married his daughter and the foster parents were there at the wedding. Like, if he doesn't kill someone, we will never know of it. And when you look at that, in this case, Rosemary married Fred West when she was 16 years old. At that time, she was actually not with her parents, but with social services.
Hmm.
So they actually knew she would marry Fred West. I could give you the reference.
No, that's fine. I believe you.
So I'm just wondering if there are no murders done and then we find out about the whole thing. How often does that happen that minors are just get married off to people like that? It's just, it's
Yeah.
amazing to me.
Yeah, and it's not like this was back in the 1930s. This was
No. Yeah.
1970s. So things weren't. I mean, they were different, sure, but they weren't like way different. So
Yeah, I think
mm.
weren't they stricter back then? I have to be home by 10. Like, I don't know.
Lights out. When the street light came on, you
Yes.
better be in the yard. That's where we were. We used to run through the neighborhoods and jump in fences trying to make it before that street light came on.
Yeah, when I was too late, I just stayed out 2 days. That they were glad I came home. No, but I never killed anyone, and I wish someone raped me. But hey, that's a different
Hey,
story.
that's not funny.
No, but it's just I don't know. I don't recognize this world at times when I listen to people having lives like that, and it's almost like it's normal. No one
Yeah.
spoke up. Didn't they make fun of the fact that they said, "Oh, if you cross Fred West, you might end up in his backyard," way
Yep.
before they knew he killed anyone?
Yep.
It's amazing. The red flags were all over the place.
Dominic West was the actor who played Fred. Yeah, there was a movie. Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
good.
There's a movie. I think it's might be on Netflix. You have to look
Right.
and see what it's called. Yeah.
Was it
Um,
just recently? Or?
I don't know. Mark, do you know the name of the movie? Because Mark's the one who said it.
I can get the movie no matter where it's on.
There's also there is a couple of books out too.
2020. Oh no, that's a documentary. Hang on.
Yeah, there's a movie. I remember seeing it. Not seeing the
There's
movie, but
I have to look. Maybe we should have watched that first. It could be worse. I think.
yeah, but you know how they switch things in movies. It's never.
Yes. No, what we know is enough. This
Hmm.
is horrible.
Yeah, I remember seeing when I was doing research. There's a book on Amazon about them,
Mhm.
and and then there was a movie that came out.
Mhm.
I don't remember the name of the movie though.
Now all gonna
Yeah.
search it out. Maybe you can have a showing on Discord in the voice chat.
No.
No, let's watch something funny.
Right. I've already.
No, but this
It's just
is
called Fred and Rose West: The Real Story.
the real story. Oh,
Yeah.
someone actually knows what happened. No, but here's the thing: when they say they are very careful. They say we know of 12 more. There gotta be more. That's the one they found in the backyard. You know.
Mm. Yeah, it's more like a documentary. I'm looking at the things now.
Hmm. Yeah, me too. I haven't found the movie yet.
Well, it says Fred and Rose West documentary, Netflix movie, so I guess it's just a documentary about them.
Yeah, but why didn't I watch that? That's true crime. But it just
Mhm. Why
came
didn't
out.
you?
Look at it. Yeah. Oh, well, 2019. Yeah, maybe I missed it. But I've never heard of it before.
Hey,
I have to
Angel.
say.
Yeah.
Hey, Angel, stop laughing. Every time she laughs, I have to laugh, and then I break a rib.
You laugh anyway, so what's the difference if
No,
she
you
laughs
do.
or not?
I I never laughed in my life till I met Angel.
Oh,
So
whatever.
whenever I crack up, blame her.
You laugh at
Blame
yourself.
Angel. I love, I love Angel.
So, um, yeah. So
Took
next
down
week,
all those
I
notes.
won't be here online at all on Tuesday. Maybe later in the evening. Maybe it depends on how I feel.
Oh, good. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah. Well.
Angel, I gotta make the admin in my server because Chrissy won't be here on Tuesday.
Yeah. You have others.
Yes, I do.
Um.
I do.
Yeah, I will be hopefully out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, so it's a happy occasion.
Yes.
Good. Like it's not a liver transplant or
No, nothing like that.
funeral. Yeah. Oh, so you go fishing?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Nice.
the drama is definitely called Appropriate Adult. Yeah, look at the private chat. So yeah, we're going to go out on the boat Tuesday
Oh,
with some friends, and we're going fishing, and I think they said it's scallop season, which I don't like scallops, but they're going to be scallop hunting, whatever, however you do that.
no,
I don't
well,
know.
no. They'll find you. The
Yeah.
Gulf of Mexico is full of life.
Hmm.
One of the last places ever.
Yeah, we usually just fish off the docks or the piers and the
Mhm.
banks, but
No, we
um,
are very, very blessed here
this
with
is
fish in British Columbia.
the first time going out on an actual boat, and I'm terrified. I don't really like boats, but it's
Oh,
a
you will like it. You'll
no,
like it.
it's called a tritoon, which is like a pontoon, but it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
three.
yeah.
So we're
No,
going out. It's safer. We'll see.
make a lot of
Hopefully, I can get a couple of videos and
yes, yes,
pictures. And,
and then we put them in the pet category.
yes.
Not true crime. It's not a true crime
Definitely.
to fish. Just
Angel, I'm not going to Mexico. I'm going to the Gulf of Mexico.
just, why am I the asshole now, Angel?
Did you read what I put in private chat?
Oh, yes, I did, but I didn't
Okay.
want to bring it up because I think you turning 40, it's a bit of downer in your life.
Yeah.
No longer
Big
be in your
40.
30s. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe.
Tuesday is my birthday. Now that you've said that. So
Well, I thought if you put it in private chat, maybe I shouldn't say it out loud. But and
that's
you
why it was
shouldn't
in
say happy
private.
birthday now because it would be premature.
Right.
Yeah, we don't
So
want that.
late. I might. It depends on how the day goes, how sunburned I get, and how tired I am, whether I will be here or not on online Tuesday night. So we'll see.
I will swamp your DM and
Mark, I wish.
serve her with happy birthday,
Well, we're gonna
James.
stick with that though, Mark. We're gonna stick with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
my God. Yeah,
We'll stay with that.
You want to eat?
yes, I do want to eat.
Huh?
My son,
Which one?
Ninja,
Hi, Ninja.
the ninja, the big one. Chrissy says hi.
So,
Sup? Sup, bruh?
What's up, bro? No, he's cooking tonight. What are you gonna?
Oh,
What are you gonna cook?
we cooked it.
You already cooked it. What is it?
Like a creamy tomato sauce.
Creamy tomato sauce.
mm.
See, this is why I'm obese. When my wife stopped feeding me because I'm too fat, my son started it. No, I know. As a father, you always have problems. I have a son
Oh,
that cooks for me.
yeah.
Oh, I love him.
He can come here and cook if he wants.
Well,
Are you eating?
I think, yeah,
Alright.
just tip me up.
That's all I need to know.
Thank you. Can you close the door? I'm doing a
You're gonna make
podcast.
me bring it to you too?
Oh, I'm not getting up at my age. If I get up, I go right to my bed.
Gosh.
Nah, it's not that bad. But hey, if he wants to feed me, he brings it.
You should go
Otherwise, I
sit at
drive
the
to
table and
McDonald's.
have dinner as a family.
We do that once a week, Sunday night. Yeah, you know what? That's actually it took a while till we actually did it regularly. But yeah, everyone sits at his computer, even my wife.
Mm.
So yeah, but I'm not complaining.
Okay, so does anybody in the chat have any questions about Mr. Fred and Rosemary? I didn't see anything. I said hi to Cherokee Girl already. I'm scrolling back in the chat to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, me neither.
Angel T's and EFD. That's okay. So, yeah.
Love you, Angel. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks, Angel. She has a wrench, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think of anything else that quit kissing boys in Discord.
Well,
That's what
no, like
Angel,
this
Angel
time
told
I
me
even
yesterday.
had notes, but you covered it all.
Yeah, see, you didn't even have to jump ahead.
No.
I didn't make many noodles. There's no leftovers.
Also,
That's it.
so this is it
That's it.
for the whole night.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
That's all
Because
you get. Tell him, Ninja.
hey, she told me to tell you that's all I get. I have to show it to you.
Well, EFD, I guess maybe you were just too drunk to remember our last conversation, but you said, I'm not talking to her anymore. I'm not talking to Chrissy. Why would I have you wrench on my channel?
Give it a week, EFD, or two, or a year.
Well, I mean,
No,
I was
like
shocked to
I
even
know,
see
I
him
know.
here, and because he said, I'm just not talking to Chrissy because I tried to be nice and helping and whatever. We're not gonna. This isn't the type of stream for that. We're not gonna go there.
Oh shit!
Um. Uh-oh.
This is what he made me. It's a
Mm,
tomato cream sauce. Yeah,
yummy.
yeah,
And that's a big plate. You don't need any more than that. Talking about that's
yeah.
it.
But I would never admit to it. I rather have leftovers and eat tomorrow. No, but yeah, yeah. I'm very
Guess what I
pleased.
had for dinner?
Um, barbecue chicken.
Nope, chef salad.
Ooh,
Hey,
listen, when
Kanaya.
it's so hot, that's actually something that
Yeah,
does
I
you good.
didn't. I did a lot of rearranging and cleaning in my craft room today because my daughter spoiled the shit out of me and
Yeah, I hate
sent
that.
me.
And your children do that to you.
Yeah, she sent me a whole bunch of stuff for my birthday, and I had to find room for it all.
So
you know,
nice.
so I had
I
to
don't think
clean
Fred
up.
West would get any birthday gifts
Yeah, I
from
had
his
to clean up
children.
my craft room, and
Nice.
I got pegboards on the wall now, so I can put my rolls of vinyl up there, and I got another desk in here, and she got me all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
So hey, dumpster Rick. But
Hey, Rick. Good to see you, Rick.
yeah, so I was cleaning and rearranging and doing all that stuff today, and it took its toll on me. So I passed out in my chair for a little while. Then I had a really bad headache, and I just didn't want to eat anything. So all I ate was a chef salad. That's it.
Nice.
I'll
You
chow
did
down on
well.
some. I'll eat
Yeah,
some cashews later, but
I love nuts.
I'm hooked on cashews. I sit here all night long with a big thing of cashews.
The most, those are the most expensive nuts, of course, because they're the best. Cashews.
I think macadamias are more expensive than those.
Could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I love some cashews. So I sit here and eat my cashews and drink coffee and
That
watch
sounds like
monkey videos.
sounds like a plan. Well, you know what I do too, and is when you work in the background, when you have have the little window open on the side,
Hmm.
they're funny. You know.
Did you see the pictures I put in Discord
Yes.
of Russell?
Yes.
He's
I've
so
seen.
damn cute. He is so cute. Oh my god, I love him.
Ask my wife. She says no monkey. I thought about buying.
Oh, I would love to have one, but they would take a lot of time and work, so I would
Yes.
never do it. But oh my god, I just want to go stay at her house for a couple of days.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no,
They are
like if
so
you don't
cute.
have time for the pets you want, that's why I don't have a dog.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Let's see. Should point out that Fred is not UK's most despicable serial killer. Dr. Harold Shipman made him look like really. I'm going to write that name down and we'll check into that. I
Yeah,
just said that he was the worst because that's how he was listed all over the internet. So,
I
but
didn't know the guy till a week ago. Fred
yeah,
West.
I'm going
I'm sure
to.
they're more.
But thanks, Mark, for the.
Thank you for
I'm
the
going to
referral.
put that in my notes right now. What's his name? Dr. Harold Shipman. And I will look at that one for you.
I hope she's okay.
She's all right. She's just having
Yeah, if it's
connection
not set
issues.
up, it's not set up.
Yeah. Next week we already have that one settled.
Which
Right?
one is it?
I put it
I
in
think
the
I see.
thing. I'll have to go
Yeah.
back and look.
Hang on. Oh, is it the Coleman?
I don't know.
Now we'll talk about it.
Yeah, because I
Let me
don't.
know
I'll have to go back up and look at it and see which one it was.
Yeah.
Because now I don't remember. It's
Claire
Tuesday,
hit the
Rick.
message. She tried to, but she couldn't.
Yeah, I'm going Tuesday, the 19th, my birthday. Since Ing pointed that out, I'm going to be 40 years old.
Yep. Yeah, listen, you have to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 40.
14 years older than you.
He euthanized hundreds of his patients. Was it one of those poop? They did I think it's Adam Matos. Damn it, what's it called? He euthanized them because they were already dying. What do they call that?
Euthanation. No. What's it called? But what did they ask him to? We have to look into it. I've never heard of it, but
Yeah. Now that he mentioned that, I think I do recall that one, but I can't pinpoint. It's right at the tip of my tongue what they actually call that. Damn it.
we had this lady here in one.
Dying with dignity or something.
Yeah.
Assisted suicide, maybe. No,
Assisted suicide. That's right.
no, I don't think that was the word I was looking for. But yeah, so I've heard of that when terminally ill patients, or they don't want to get really sick, or they were just old and he killed them anyway. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into him. But yeah, and Ing, we'll touch base and see. I'll tell you who next week is because I have to go back and look because I don't remember now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here as always, and to the chat.
Love the chat. Hi to everyone.
Hit that Cash App and that PayPal. Birthday's Tuesday. No, it's teasing.
On the 19th, you better make it work. This woman just left the 30s.
That's
She's
right.
now 40.
Big 40.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It's gonna be depressing being 40. Jesus. Send her a gift.
Okay, Mark. It wasn't assisted suicide. They didn't want to die.
Oh, okay. That's a difference. Yeah. I see the point if a patient asks for it. I see the point. Yeah, I know.
Don't play God.
Yeah, I love playing God.
No, you cannot play God.
I know.
So, so we're going to end this, and I'll let you know as soon as I figure it out myself who's next week. As far as I know, it's the person I just mentioned, which I'm not going to say out loud again.
Let me know because I need reassurance that I'm looking at the right case.
Yeah, I know you asked 20 times.
I just want to be sure. If I prepare for the wrong one, I gotta jump ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
thank you. Had a great time.
All right, guys. Yeah. Rick, I'm really not 40. I'm just not going to tell you how old I am.
Yeah. Right.
But
don't worry, you will be the oldest in our community, right?
No, yeah, I'm going to say Rick's always going to be older.
But I love Rick. I'm glad he actually, when he was 40, he had a scare with his heart, and he beat it. So.
Good. All right. Thanks, Ing, again. I hope we covered
Thank you.
everything and there was no questions, so it was all good.
You covered
And
it all.
yeah, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Bye.
Bye.